Is it me, or was anybody else not the slightest bit surprised at that G4S fiasco? I mean, don't get me wrong, I think G4S are solely and squarely to blame, but it just typifies the way this country goes on. To be honest, I am surprised, and I have to take my hat off to the fact that that Olympic Stadium and all the bits and pieces and the other places of Weymouth are wonderful bit of stuff they've done down there, and the velodrome and the main stadium and all that. They made a cracking job of all of that. And I'm a bit of a cynic about our British work ethic and our unionisation and all that stuff. And to be perfectly honest with you, I am shocked and eating a bit of humble pie, to say the least, that it all got done and all finished on time. I was expecting that to go, oh, I can't get that finished off, we're clocking off now, it's 5 o'clock, oh no, that's not going to happen. The old car union trick on it, and the bloody thing still be, a pile of rubble when the bloody, when all the athletes are turning up from every corner of the earth. They're staring at this bloody great pile of rubble in the middle of East London. But I was proved wrong, and I'm glad I was proved wrong. I was glad I was proved wrong. But this G4S blooming thing is just, it just typifies the eye off the ball thing, doesn't it? It's the unprofessionalism. I suppose it goes back to our attitude that, might is, or what is it, but great, or whatever they call it, and and everyone's going to jump to our tune and going to be paying us the biggest amount of attention. And G4S is supposedly the second largest employer in the world, so I heard, which is which surprised me, but they are, they are supposedly. And someone in our government hasn't really kept their eye on the ball. I'm not saying that Nick Buckles is not to blame, and and all his cohorts, of course they are. I mean, they were told, what was it, 2010 they got the contract, and he said trying to get this number of staff together in a short period of time. I know what he really means is that it was December 2011. He was told that they needed an extra, whatever it was, I can't remember, it was 8,000 staff or something, which, I suppose that's what 6 months is quite a short period of time to try and get those numbers of staff together. But what was that all about? Where was the organisation in that, suddenly realising that they needed that many more staff? But I do like the way that I like the way that he has at least said that he's that he's quite happy to cough up the money. G4S are quite happy to cough up the money for paying for the military and any inconvenience, and apologise directly to the troops for having their summer holidays ruined. And maybe, just maybe, that might be a lesson to our government that's just laid off Christ knows how many bloody armed forces. That it's not just the fact that there's no trenches nowadays in modern warfare, so you don't need tens of thousands of troops to absorb machine gun bullets, that so we can sack them all, which is the bloody philosophy. They go, war is waged in a different way now, and so you don't need so many persons, which is nice. It's interesting, isn't it, that it's good in a way. This might sound a bit macabre and a bit strange, but I think it's quite good in a way that we now, the fact that we now hear the name of every single soldier that comes back from conflict, dead in a box, just goes to show how modern warfare has changed in terms of the mass killing. They don't even know how many people died in the Somme, let alone all their names. You could hardly have a roll call every day for those poor buggers, so it has changed, and we don't need quite as many soldiers, thank goodness, and wars, touch wood, don't seem to be waged on quite the same scale as they used to be. But there's always the odd occasion when you need to call on people. I mean, if they didn't have those 3,500 soldiers, we'd have really been in the poop, wouldn't we? So let's hope, shall we, that this G4S thing is the only is the only cock-up for the Olympics, because it would be nice to think that people would go away thinking Britain is a decent nation that could organise a piss-up in a brewery. And to be fair, that we'd have had a hell of a bloody thing to follow, because those Chinese Olympics were bloody spectacular. And I know all the arguments, well, they managed to do it because they have slave labour and all this nonsense, and if you didn't go and participate you'd be shot, and all the people didn't get paid money, and blah 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 blah, and we can't do that. True, we can't. However, that doesn't detract from the fact that it was a damn fine spectacle, and if we can't live up to it, at least we're not going to live up to the same spectacle, because we haven't got, we can't have 100,000 people or whatever it was in a stadium, because we just can't, because we don't work like China does. But at least if we can make a good organisational effort and the thing run like clockwork, and not have cock-ups like G4S, of course, then, hopefully people will go away thinking that we're still capable of holding our head up high as a nation that at least knows its arse from its elbow. And so, I'm quite looking forward to the opening ceremony, to be honest with you. I'm not much of a sports person, to be fair, but, it'd be quite nice to think that we can do a decent opening ceremony and carry it all off. Unfortunately, I don't live in London, so it's not going to inconvenience me like some of these poor people, but there you are. It's all in a good cause. Good international relations, I say, what-ho. Mustn't grumble, eh? Ta-ra.